suffering the effect. But without a cause, can there be an effect? You doing what you like to do is not freedom. You are capable of doing whatever is needed joyfully, that's freedom, isn't it? Your likes and dislikes are the basis of your bondage, isn't it so? The very way you think, feel, understand, perceive and experience your life is determined by all this past input. So your mind is deeply conditioned by the past activity. This conditioning of the mind, traditionally we call this karma. So if you maintain this equanimous mind, then karma will begin to collapse. When will your mind be equanimous? When you're accepting what is there right now, your mind is equanimous, isn't it? You're neither liking it nor disliking it, experiencing everything the way it is. After all this grinding responsibility, you still do not know what it means. What I mean by you being responsible is, I am telling you, you're responsible even for those things which happened before you were born. My life is 100% my doing. If you see this, you will create your life the way you want. Now, in the foods, in the yogic culture, we classify foods into three categories. These are called sattva, tamas and rajas. This can be put it this way. Pranic food, positive pranic food, negative pranic food and zero pranic food. Positive prana means it adds a certain pranic energy to the system when you consume. Negative prana takes away energy from the system. Zero neither adds nor takes away, it's eaten for taste and lethargy. Yeah, people like lethargy, you don't know. Yes, a whole lot of people are telling me, we enjoy sleep. Nobody can enjoy sleep. If you're enjoying sleep, you're not sleeping. You may enjoy restfulness, you may enjoy the after effect of good sleep, that's different. You enjoy restfulness, you cannot enjoy sleep, you fix this in your head. Yes or no? Restfulness must for a human being, because rest is the basis of all activity. If there is no restfulness in you, you are not capable of dynamic activity. Yes or no? If you're not rested, can you be active? No. Rest is the basis of all activity. Rest is one thing, sleep is another thing. You must differentiate between the two. Sleep is a certain inertia. The difference between life and death is just this. Life is a dynamic process of the energy. Death is an inertia state of the energy. Sleep is playing between the two. The more you practice that, unknowingly you're inviting death. If you slept for 8 hours a day, you're inviting death 20 years earlier or 30 years earlier than what it should have come. Yes or no? So, if you eat positive pranic food, energy will reverberate in a dynamic way. If you eat negative pranic food, it takes away energy and causes certain deviations in energy. If you eat zero pranic, it brings lethargy and maybe you can eat it for taste to some extent. Well, look at this classification. What are the foods which fall under this? There's no need to look at the positive because a whole lot of them are positive. I can't produce a list. We look at the negative pranic list, it's a much shorter list, but unfortunately, it may be a list of all your favorite things too. On top of the negative pranic list is garlic. Garlic is a very powerful medicine, but it's one thing to consume something as a medicine and it's an entirely different thing to consume it as a daily food substance. It has many medicinal qualities. In Ayurveda and Siddha, we use garlic in a very powerful way for specific ailments. But now your logic is, every day if I pop whatever medicine I can, I will be healthy. In Ayurveda, we say like this, every root, every leaf found on this planet has some medicinal quality. It's just that only a few we have learned how to use, others we are yet to learn how to use. Otherwise, every one of them has some medicinal quality if we are willing to pay attention and learn how to use them. So now if you want to be healthy, what you do is, anyway it's fall time, there's lot of leaf. Just go and eat as much leaf as possible and also take up a few roots and eat it, you will be very healthy. That's not how it works. Something specific for a specific problem is different. Just generally consuming medicinal substances is a different game, isn't it? Garlic is a very powerful medicine if properly used. Daily consumption, no, because it plays on your nervous system big time. It is a very strong nervous stimulant. If you use garlic, your nervous system gets stimulated in a big way. Anything that stimulates nervous system holds you up for some time and then dumps you. Daily usage of nervous stimulants in any form will slowly get you to a place that you become insensitive to life, that you cannot experience. Now, you're holding dog as the ideal because he's more sensitive than you. His nervous system is far more sensitive than you because he can feel things and know things that you cannot know. This is a higher design than the dog, isn't it so? Shall I continue with the list or just leave it? I don't want to become unpopular here. Garlic, onion, asafoetida, green chilies. Oh, asafoetida, maybe you're not used to it. It is something very commonly used in Indian cooking. It's a very strong stimulant. Should I continue or no? Yes. Coffee. Tea. No, tea means the caffeine tea is the tea. Other things are just placebos. Okay, they're not tea. You can boil any flower, any leaf, any root and call it tea. That's not tea. Tea means the tea leaf, which is caffeine. All these are nervous stimulants. Once in a way if you drink, they have some benefits. But if it becomes a daily thing, slowly it dulls your nervous system. Your ability to experience life is gone. We are looking at this dimension of the food mainly in terms of your sensitivity to life. Largely people are ego-sensitive, they are not life-sensitive, they can't feel life. For them, only their thought and emotion is life because they can't feel life. If you walk out into the forest, you can't feel the tree, that's why you call it a wood. You can't feel the creatures around you, simply because the sensitivity is gone in so many ways. One thing is just the modern life, this television, this traffic, these constant reverberations. One thing I find when I come here is, one thing that makes me get out of buildings in this country is, always something is buzzing, boom, something is going. It has a very bad effect on the human system. See, we are also a kind of reverberation. There must be space to allow our reverberations to grow and spread. Now these machines have such powerful reverberation, constantly boom, something is going on. And on top of it, what we cannot hear, all these Wi-Fis and stuff, they are doing their own thing. Yes? In all this, there is no room for you to become life-sensitive, to sit here and be able to experience the whole universe takes a certain level of sensitivity. I'm talking about nervous stimulants in that context. You are lowering the possibility of experiencing life. See, for example, if you just touch this, not everybody will feel just a touch the same way. Do you know this? It depends on how sensitive your system is. If you feel this, you can know many things if you're willing. So I'm not a coffee hater, all right? But what I am saying is, a cup of coffee should not determine the quality of your life. By choice, you drink today. Tomorrow you walk away, it's fine. If it's a compulsion, if I don't drink my coffee, my day is ruined, then you have to do something about it. Yes, I'm only talking about this. The only parameter is, are you moving towards freedom or are you getting enslaved in some way? With a cup of liquid, you shouldn't get enslaved. Yes? With just about anything, you're getting tangled up. I'm saying do everything by choice, then there's no problem. If you do it by choice, you know when to start, when to stop, isn't it? If you do it by compulsion, what you start you cannot stop. This is the whole problem. It's not like you become a fanatic, I don't eat this, I don't eat that, I eat this, I don't eat that. Don't become a food fanatic. It's just that eat by choice. Every meal must be by choice. Not that you've decided, this is what you will eat and this is what you will not eat. Don't make food into religion, it is not. It is a choice. And the choice should be according to the needs of the body, not according to social needs, not according to cultural needs, according to the needs of this body, isn't it? So, among the positive pranic foods, there are a few foods which are very, very positive. On top of the list is what is called as an ash gourd. I think here they call it a winter melon. It is not of the same potency as we find in India. The Indian ash gourd is like phenomenal. Ash gourd is very positive, black pepper is very positive. Honey is one substance on the planet whose chemical composition is very close to that of human blood. Daily consumption, honey can do wonderful things to you. And honey is an extremely good thing to eat, especially if you have children at home. Make honey culture part of your thing. Psychological stability, physical well-being, vitality, all these things can be greatly enhanced simply consuming daily honey. If you have excess fat in your body, if you drink honey with warm water, it breaks down the fat in the system. If you drink it with cold water, it'll give you weight. If you have to utter any kind of sound without using the tongue, what are the sounds that you could utter? I want you to experiment and see. Without using the tongue, just try to make sounds. Yes, for sure you can do possible. Anything else? Yes, possible. What else? No, you can't do that without your tongue. Suppose you did not have a tongue. What are the sounds you can utter? You can do ah, you can do oo, you can do Try any other sound. Someone who is unable to speak, a mute person who is unable to speak, what are the sounds that he makes? Ah, oo, Because these three sounds do not need the use of your tongue. So in speech, you're using your tongue. What is the tongue actually doing? What is its function? Yes, but what is it doing actually? I'm sorry? All right, but what is it doing actually? For sure it's wagging.
Is it breaking up the sound? Is it breaking up the sound?
It's not breaking up the sounds, is it? Your tongue is vibrating? No. So if you remove your tongue, you are able to make only three sounds. Ah, oo, You are using the tongue, placing the tongue in different positions in your palate to mix these three sounds and produce all the other sounds that you produce. If you know something about the color television, you would know there are only three basic colors. Using these three colors, you see every other possible color on the tube. Similarly, there are only three basic sounds. Using these three sounds, you are able to produce all these other sounds. The tongue is just helping you to mix these three sounds in many complex ways. Now, these three sounds, ah, oo and ma, are referred to as the basic sounds or the universal sounds. Because these three sounds are the basis of all the other sounds that you can utter. If you utter these three sounds together, what do you get? It's not O. If you open your mouth and expel the air, it becomes ah. As you're closing it halfway down, it becomes oo. When you close it, it becomes Almost every creature can utter these three sounds. If you have a dog or a cat at home, if he yawns, what does he do? If he opens his mouth, it does ah. Halfway down, it does oo, closing, So these are the three basic sounds which are the very basis of all the other sounds that you can utter. Why are they referred to as the universal sounds? Today modern science is telling you the whole existence is just a reverberation of energy. It is the same energy vibrating in different ways, which makes it so many things. If the whole existence is a vibration, where there's a vibration, there is bound to be a sound, isn't it so? Where there's a vibration, there is bound to be a sound. So the whole existence is a complex amalgamation of sounds. This is one kind of sound, that is another kind of sound. Every form is a certain kind of sound. If you feed any sound into an oscilloscope, the sound measuring instrument, depending upon its frequency, amplitude and other dimensions of the sound, it gives out a certain form. That means every sound has a form attached to it. Similarly, every form has a sound attached to it. So this relationship between the sound and the form is known as the science of mantras. Now, modern science is proving to you the whole existence is just a vibration. Where there's a vibration, there is bound to be a sound. So the whole existence is sound. And the root sound for all this complex amalgamation of sounds is sound A, Vu and Ma or So is known as the universal sound or the basic sound in the creation. There are beautiful stories like this. If Shiva sits down here and utters 3 Ahms, if he utters Ahm 3 times, a whole new universe will happen. Now this is not a fact, but this is a truth. Do you know what's the difference between a fact and a truth? What is it? No? What is the difference between a fact and a truth? Okay. I'm sorry? You can prove a fact?
Fact may not be true.
Fact may not be true. Are you a journalist? Or a politician?
Fact needs empirical evidence.
I'm sorry?
Fact needs empirical evidence.
It's like this. Right now you're sitting here, either as a man or a woman. Is it a fact? Some of you don't say anything. What's the matter with you? You're sitting here either as a man or a woman. Is that a fact? But how did you come here? Because a man and woman came together, you're here today, isn't it? So now you're sitting here as a man. Does it mean to say your mother has made no contribution for you? Does she exist within you? Now you're sitting here as a woman. Does it mean to say your father has made no contribution for you? Does he exist within you? So the fact is, you're either a man or a woman, but the truth is, you're both. So all those dimensions of life which cannot be expressed logically, to express these aspects, in this culture, here in India, in the East, we created wonderful stories to express those dimensions of life which cannot be logically expressed. So Shiva sits down and utters 3 Ahms or utters Ahm 3 times over and a whole new universe will happen. This is not a fact, but this is a truth. Because the basic reverberation of the existence is A, Vu and Ma. So is seen as the universal sound, as the basic sound. The whole existence is a vibration. Science is proving that to you. Where there is a vibration, there is a sound. So the whole existence is a complex arrangement of sounds. The root sound brand for themselves and nowhere else it is known. That is not true. Wherever there is a realized being, there sound will be there. For example, Christianity, born in Jerusalem, where the language at that time was Aramaic. Aramaic language has a certain inflection where sound is dominant. So this influence of the language and culture enters everything that you do. Whatever you're doing in your life, whatever you're expressing in your life, the influence of your culture and your language enters into it. That is the significance of the East. That is the significance of these traditions, that we took elaborate care to see that our cultural and language aspects do not enter the spiritual process. Elaborate care was taken to see that language and culture does not enter spiritual process, because language and culture keeps changing by the generation. From time to time, your cultural and language aspects keep changing, but we do not want those influences to distort the spiritual process. So great care was taken about this. For this we established a certain system which we call as the Guru-Shishya Paramparya. That means a master-disciple traditions, where if someone experiences something within himself, he will look for a person who will hold this truth above his life, not as a part of his life, not as his profession, not as his career, not as his hobby, but above his life. Only to such a person it is given. Now he carries it through his life without a single distortion and offers it to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. So these master-disciple traditions or Guru-Shishya Paramparya grew and flourished for thousands of years. So as a rule, anything that is spiritual was never written down. Why it is not written down, and I am telling you not to write down, it is the moment is written down, all kinds of people will read it. All kinds of interpretations and misinterpretations will happen. Above all, scholars will read it. Once scholars read it, truth is finished. On a certain day, a man got enlightened. When he got enlightened, all the disciples of the devil got very excited, because if a man gets enlightened, he is going to spread truth. Spreading of truth is going to seriously affect the devil's business. So they got excited, they didn't know what to do. They ran to the chief devil. The chief devil was relaxing in an easy chair, sipping Coca-Cola. Even he does it, the real thing, you know. These devils went there and clamored, "Oh, what are you sitting and relaxing like this? A man got enlightened, a man got enlightened." The chief devil said, "Shut up." Even I know he got enlightened. What are you clamoring like this for? The scholars have already reached there. Once the scholars get there, truth is finished. They will interpret it in 100 different ways. Truth cannot be interpreted, it can only be experienced. It can only be perceived and experienced. If you interpret it, it can only be a misinterpretation. Anyway, the whole existence is just a complex arrangement of sounds. If that is so, how come I don't hear it? Simply because your hearing is only within a small frequency range. Anything below that, we call it subsonic sounds. Anything over that, we call it ultrasonic sounds. Both ultrasonic and subsonic sounds you cannot hear. Right now, if you take a transistor radio here and tune it, it starts singing. Where is the song? The song is already in the air. All the transistor is doing is converting one frequency, converting the sound which is in a certain frequency mode into another frequency mode which is audible to you. But the song is already there, isn't it? Aren't you glad you're not hearing all that? If you heard everything, you would go crazy, you know. So, this transmission of knowledge, this transmission of spiritual knowing was transmitted by sound, never by writing down, only verbally, only orally. These oral traditions grew and this kept the purity in the East. No other culture on the planet could afford this because most cultures were constantly in situations of strife and war all the time. So they could not develop this, and also except in the East, except really in India. Anywhere else, generally this has been the unfortunate reality. If any human being comes up and says something different than what the local culture believes in, first thing is kill. You know all the terrible things that have happened to a Socrates, to a Manzoor, to a Jesus. So what did Jesus do? The man is not threatening anybody. He did not even talk about pulling down the temple. He did not do anything very revolutionary. He only talked about taking the business out of the temple. For that, you see what horrible things they did to him. But even 500 years before him, Gautama, the Buddha, came here. He made fun of all the Hindu gods. He said, "You people have a zoo full of gods." The Hindus backtracked and said, no, we also know there is only one God, but we like variety. So, we've given many forms to the same one. What's your problem? Then Buddha pushed on. He said, "Who told you there's one God? There is no God." Hindus backtracked. They opened their Upanishads and said, "Even our Upanishads say there is no God, but there is Atman, there is a soul." Buddha pushed on. He said, "There is no soul. You are a non-soul. You are an Atma. There is no such thing as soul. No matter what they said, he went on demolishing that. But nobody ever thought of taking a stone and throwing at him. They invited him for debates. Months and months they debated with him. If they lost the debate, they joined him. Because in this culture, they set up this thing. If somebody is on the spiritual path, there is no question of harming him. You can argue with him, you can debate with him, you can disagree with him, but you don't attack him. Because of this, spiritual processes evolved in a million different formats. In how many ways this can be done is incredible, and how many ways India carries is absolutely fantastic. When Mark Twain visited India, he spent little more than 3.5 months. You heard of Mark Twain? One of the keenest minds that America produced. He was so fascinated with Indian mysticism, and he came down here. He had a good guide who took him to the right places. And when he was leaving, he said, anything that can ever be done, either by God or man, has been done in this land. This is the greatest compliment India has ever received. Anything that can ever be done, either by man or God, has been done in this land. That's what he said. And it's true. When it comes to human consciousness, when it comes to understanding the mechanics of life process, nowhere else has it been explored with as much profoundness and as much variety as it's been done here, simply because of an established culture for thousands of years, undisturbed, not ravaged by wars, not ravaged by other kinds of influences. A stable culture which grew for a long period of time evolved this and spread this culture where this master-disciple traditions carried on. So sound was carried from generation to generation, but the same things happened in other cultures and they got distorted, influenced by language and culture. So in Christianity, whatever they close with today, whatever they say, they close it with Amen. If you look at it the way it is said at the Vatican, it's always said, Amen. You take off the N and say Amen. Oh. If you want to understand this, you can see a similar infliction in Tamil, the Tamil-speaking people. See now, for example, Ram. You know Ram, born in Ayodhya? Ram had series of misfortunes in his life. He came down south. When he came south, when Ram entered Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka, people called him Rama. Then he crossed the Tamil Nadu border. People called him Raman. If Krishna comes to Tamil Nadu, what will you do? Krishnan. If Arjun comes comes to Tamil Nadu, what do? Arjunan. If Bhim comes to Tamil Nadu, what do? Bhiman. Whoever enters Tamil Nadu border, they get unified. This infliction of un in Tamil is much stronger than Aramaic. Amen. You take out the N, it's just Am. Today this Amen has gone to United States of America and become Amen. This is cultural and language distortions which happen. Islam, born also in the same region, under the same cultural and language influences, they are saying Ameen. Take away N and say Ameen. Oh, it's the same sound. Because wherever a human being becomes silent by his own nature, not school teacher's silence, not plugging your ears silence, if you become silent by your own nature, sound will reverberate in the system, because the root sound for your physical existence is sound When reverberates, it starts from just beneath the navel and ends at the tip of your nose. This reverberation will just happen by itself. So wherever a human being truly sat quietly, utter quietness within himself, he always became aware of the sound When he transmitted it got distorted over a period of time according to language and cultural influences. Even in India, has become Om. It is not Om. You open your mouth and say Gently close your mouth, it becomes O. You close it, it becomes This is not something that you do. If you just expel the air and just let your mouth close, it becomes So this is the most basic sound. This is the universal sound. There is a whole science as to how to utter this sound, how to make use of this sound. Because this is the very basis of your physical existence. By using this sound, you can stabilize the physical body and the psychological structure in a huge way. I've seen many people coming out of serious chronic ailments simply by uttering the sound This utterance of understanding the science as to how to utter sound is called Ankar Yoga. It is a complete system by itself. Here, we will not be using it as a whole system of yoga. Here we are using it just as a device to establish a certain pathway to your energy, to establish a certain direction as to how your energies function. Sound has innumerable benefits. Even today, if anybody come here with any kind of psychological disturbances, the first prescription is always You do this for a few weeks, You settle down and then we go into other aspects. I can show you hundreds of people for whom medically it was believed that they have to be on psychiatric medication for the rest of their life, have completely walked out of the need for medication simply by uttering If you are suffering from excessive fear, distorted dreams, bad dreams, nightmares, unstable mind, unstable body, if your general constitution is weak, you tend to fall sick too often, particularly children, if they have attention disorders, daily utterance of for a few minutes a day will make an enormous difference for you. If you have problems that you are unable to do anything with a certain resolve in your life, daily utterance of will be truly transformational for you. Within a couple of weeks, you can notice a phenomenal difference in the way you function. Because this is the basic sound in your physical existence. When you utter this it's very important that you're aware of the nature of the vibrations that it causes. Any repetition without the necessary awareness will bring dullness into you. Repetitiveness will make you dull. Like if you sit here and say Ram, 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 you will become dull. Unfortunately, most people understand this dullness as peace. If you are dull, you will be peaceful. If you are dead, totally peaceful, isn't it? You becoming dull and peaceful is of no consequence. If you can be exuberantly alive and be peaceful, it's worthwhile. You become like this and you're peaceful. It is no good. Repetitiveness will do this to your mind. If you keep on repeating something, your mind will become dull. Unfortunately, people think this is peace. I would rather have you in turmoil and an active mind rather than be dull and peaceful. It is very important when you utter the sound, when you repeat any sound, you are maintaining a certain awareness. Only then the sound becomes an invigorating process. So when you utter the sound the sound begins just beneath the navel and ends at the tip of your nose. So every utterance you must move with awareness, with the reverberation. You must move your awareness along with the vibration. Only then this awareness builds up into your phenomenal force within you. But without the awareness, if you just sit here, you will become dull. So can be made use of in so many different ways, as I was saying. This relationship between a form and a sound is known as the science of mantras. Every form has a sound attached to it. Every sound has a form attached to it. A sound, a pure sound, is referred to as a mantra. The corresponding form is the yantra. The technology of using these two things together is called tantra. The sound is the mantra. The corresponding form is the yantra. The technology of putting these two things together and using them to your benefit is called tantra. So this is a very deep and essential science. Unfortunately, it has fallen on bad times because of misuse and lack of necessary commitment to do it in the right way. If you have to use any mantra, there are many powerful systems of mantras, but if you have to use them, you have to learn them under very, very closely guarded assistance. Just trying to do it by yourself could be very, very harmful to you, particularly those people who have not spoken any other language than English language in their life. They must be very, very careful because their ability to utter sounds is very limited and they will invariably mispronounce the mantras. So mispronouncing mantras and wrongly doing these sounds which are powerful systems can cause immense harm to people. They have to be done with enormous care. So do not attempt all kinds of mantras unless there is expert guidance. But sound is a basic and universal mantra that everybody can utter. And this also has to be done properly. Sound contains three sounds, a, vu and ma. This a, vu and ma, when you utter it, they must be approximately equal. And you must watch the reverberation from just beneath the navel to the tip of your nose. Every utterance, you must move your awareness along with the reverberation. Only then the mantra works for you. Right now, we will just do this, sit, Ardha Siddhasana or cross-leg posture. You take your left heel and push it into your perineum. Perineum means between the anal outlet and the genital. There is a little space which is known as the perineum. In the yogic terminology, this is known as the Mooladhara. So you push your heel into that, the right leg, you just place it comfortably in front of you, whichever way is comfortable for you. So this is called Ardha Siddhasana. If you push your left heel into the perineum and sit like this, one thing that will immediately happen to you in this session itself, you can notice this. Your need for water, food, going to the toilet and sleep will immediately come down. If you simply sit like this, with the heel pushed into the perineum, body will begin to be less of an issue than what it is right now. There are various types of mudras. Here we will do one mudra. You keep these four fingers together, thumb sticking out like this. Use the forefinger and the thumb to touch at the very tips and form a circle between them. But these four fingers should remain together, there should be no gap here. Do not allow a gap here. The four fingers are together, the forefinger and the thumb form a circle and hold it facing upward. When you hold the mudra, you must place it in that place where your arms will be loose. You find that point on your thigh where your arms will be very loose. Only the mudra should be tight. From the tip of your finger to your breast, there must be little tension. But that tension should not extend into your forearm or your bicep muscle. Only the mudra should be tight without employing your forearm. If you employ your forearm, the mudra will turn negative. So you're sitting in Ardha Siddhasana, holding the mudra. This is the posture we will be using. Close your eyes. We will utter this sound. Repeat after me, okay? Don't go with me. Yes. Are you able to notice the reverberation moving from the navel to the tip of your nose? Is it noticeable? You must be aware of this when you utter this. So uttering sound has innumerable benefits. Any kind of stabilization that is necessary for the physiology or the psychological situation can be very easily achieved by uttering sound Now, this whole science of name-form relationship or sound and form relationship is perceived in a certain state of perception which is known as Ritambara Prajna. Ritambara means, if you look at a certain aspect of nature, now your perception is such, the sound associated with that you are aware of. Now what you do is, you give that sound as the name to that form. So when you utter the sound, on where you utter the name, the sound and the form that you're referring to are connected. If you have mastery over the sound that you utter, you also begin to have mastery over the form. This is the science of mantras. If one moves into a certain state of perception, which is known as Ritambara Prajna, every form that you see, you can figure out the sound attached to it. And simply by uttering the sound, you connect with the form. You can experience the form just by uttering the sound. If you know something about quantum mechanics, you would know that in quantum mechanics there are three fundamental aspects. These three aspects are referred to as forces of creation, forces of maintenance, forces of destruction. According to quantum mechanics, there are only three things in the existence. creative action, maintenance action, destructive action. Is that so? Is that so? This is science. Today, the modern scientists refer to these three fundamental forces either as A, B, C or X, Y, Z or whatever they like. The same three forces here in India, we call them Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. Brahma is the creative operator, Vishnu is the maintenance operator, Shiva is the destroyer. This is a dialectical culture. So, science was taught in a story form, but certain generations of people dropped the science and just carried the stories. Then stories got exaggerated to a point of ridiculousness. Then the next generation of people definitely want to drop the story. Today modern education scientists are saying that if a child goes to kindergarten school and goes through 20 years of education and let's say comes out with a PhD, they are saying 70% of his intelligence is irrevocably destroyed. That means he comes out as a knowledgeable idiot. So how to see that education and information does not suppress intelligence? Some of the things that they have very commonly said across cultural divides is, if education happens in story form, then suppressive nature of information can be taken away. This is what they did. This is quantum mechanics for you a few thousand years ago. Brahma is the creative operator, Vishnu maintenance, Shiva the destroyer. If you want to destroy something, what do you need? Let's say we want to destroy the city in which you live. What do you need? You're enough or we need something more? Huh? What do we need? A bomb, isn't it? A bomb means what? If you put too much energy at one point, explosion will happen. So if you want to destroy, you need energy. Shiva is the destroyer. Who is his consort? Shakti. Shakti means energy. To destroy, you need energy. Well, he's got her sitting by his side. Now Shiva is personified as masculine, the energy is personified as feminine. So this is the destructive force. If you want to create something, what do you need? You need intelligence and knowledge, isn't it? Brahma is the creative operator. Who is his consort? Saraswati. She is the goddess of intelligence and knowledge. To create, that's what you need, so that's what you have. The third pair became too popular. Vishnu and Lakshmi. Vishnu is the maintenance operator, Lakshmi is the goddess of money and wealth. Why maintenance and money are clubbed together? What? If you want to maintain, you need money? Yes, that is also true. If you want to maintain, you need money. But the important thing is, if you want to make money, you should know how to maintain. You do fanciful things, you don't make money. See, who are the richest people? Which class of people are the richest people in any given society? Always the businessman, isn't it? What does a businessman do from morning to evening? Create, destroy or maintain? Maintaining. Every day in and day out, he sits in his shop. It doesn't take any dazzling brilliance to do this, but it takes perseverance. Every day, sitting there and maintaining and maintaining and maintaining, now money happens. You may be brilliant, but if your activity is intermittent, you don't make much money, isn't it? So, if you want to make money, you must have the perseverance to maintain, otherwise you don't make money. So Vishnu and Lakshmi together. Now these three forces, we say here, without the concurrence of Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, you cannot even move a blade of grass. This does not mean three people in partnership are moving blades of grasses. What this means is, every atom is constructed with proton, neutron, electron. This is Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. Without the concurrence of these three forces, you definitely cannot even move a blade of grass, isn't it? So this is quantum mechanics for you. I won't go into the whole story. We can propound the whole quantum mechanics through this story. This is how it was done long time ago. Now these forces have also taken certain positions in your body. Navel is Vishnu's position. This is the maintenance center. In yoga, this is known as the Manipuraka chakra. In the Far East Asian cultures, this is known as hara. You've heard of a word called harakiri? What does that mean to you? It's an expert way of committing suicide. If you take a blade, which is just a centimeter in width and inch and a half in length, if you locate your hara and insert the blade just above your hara, you will die instantaneously without any pain. Except for the pain of cutting the skin, you will not know anything, you will die instantaneously. That's harakiri. If you simply stab yourself, that's not harakiri. Only if you know, if you located your hara by your experience, you're aware enough to locate your hara and you cut your hara, that's harakiri. Now you have the technology. All these Far East Asian cultures of Shoguns, ninja, Shaolins, these are all suicidal cultures. Their sense of honor was so exaggerated. For smallest things, they'll cut their hara because they have found this expert way of leaving the body. Today motorcycles are being named after them. For whatever reason. So this Manipuraka chakra, is the only point in your body where all the 72,000 channels of prana, there are 72,000 nadis or channels or pathways in this body. All of them are meeting at this one point and redistributing themselves. This is the only point. Your Manipuraka or your hara is located about 3/4 of an inch below your navel. And that is the point where all the nadis meet and redistribute themselves. And the mantra for this chakra is sound ah. If you say ah, you will see the reverberation will start just 3/4 of an inch below your navel. Just try this and see. Ah, 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 ah. Is that so? This is the only sound which takes the reverberation right across the body, because this is the only point in the body where all the 72,000 nadis meet and redistribute themselves. This is your maintenance center. Even when you were in your mother's womb, where was the maintenance pipe connected to you? At the navel. Now the maintenance pipe is severed, but still the maintenance center is here. This is the reason why in India this culture is very much there, particularly in South India. Especially Telugu speaking and Kannada speaking people would be very much aware of this. How many of you are Telugu and Kannada speaking? Till the child reaches 4.5 years of age, his maintenance center is not well established. He's still… That's why it is called infancy till then, because he's still little loose in the body. So at this time, he has to utter sound ah as much as possible so that his Manipuraka gets established. So just in the previous generation this was a reality, these days it's all forgotten. Every day they would make the child cry loudly for at least 15–20 minutes in a day. If the child doesn't cry, they'll pinch the child and make him cry. Otherwise they'll put him in hot sun and make him cry. Do you know this? Because the child has to open his mouth and say ah. If he says ah, 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 gets stronger and stronger. When he begins to speak, we will teach him a separate kind of language with the child. Almost everything that we utter starts with sound ah. Amma, appa, anna, whatever you like, everything that is concerned with the child starts with sound ah, so that all this, as much as possible, he is uttering sound ah. The same words, for the same things, you may have a different word when you speak with adults, but you have a word starting with sound ah when you speak to children, particularly in Telugu language. Is it so? Because the child has to utter sound ah as much as possible to strengthen his Manipuraka chakra. So, the sound ah is Vishnu's sound. This is the maintenance sound. If you utter sound ah, reverberation will start just beneath the navel and spread across the body. No other sound can do this. You keep your eyes closed and utter many other sounds and see the reverberations will be at different parts of your body, but never spread across the body. This is the only sound which does this, because this is the maintenance sound. This is the sound of Vishnu. If you utter sound oo, you will see it begins just where the rib cage meets, just beneath that there's a soft spot. In yoga we call this anahata. Anahata means the unstruck sound. So sound ooh begins from here and the reverberations will flow this way and then move upward, it'll never go this way. Just see this. Ooh. Is that so? This is Brahma's sound. This is the creative center. And this is Brahma's sound. If you utter the sound, you will see the reverberation will start from the pit of your throat and generally spread to the upper regions of your body. Is that so? So this is Shiva's sound. This is at Vishuddhi. Vishuddhi literally means a filter. If your Vishuddhi is active, you can filter everything that comes to you, take in only what's needed. You know Shiva is referred to as Nilakanta or Vishakanta because he drinks poison and he stops it right here. He doesn't let it affect his system. Poison need not necessarily mean that you have to consume it in the form of food or drink. A thought can poison your life. An emotion can poison your life. An idea can poison your life. Yes? A wrong idea, a wrong thought, a wrong emotion can completely mess your life up. So if your Vishuddhi is active, you filter it down here. If it's right here, you can always spit it out. That's why when you don't like somebody, people want to spit. They want the words to go to them. It is very beautifully expressed like this. If you have mastery over sound ah, you can become extraordinarily rich. If you have mastery over sound ooh, you can become extraordinarily intelligent. If you have mastery over sound you can become extraordinarily powerful. But when you utter sound you have to ensure that ah, vu and ma are approximately equal. Because if you have any one of them in excess, you will become messed up. You have too much money, neither the intelligence nor the power to employ this money, you will be in a lot of trouble. You've seen people? Without money they would be better off. With money they're completely ruined. Too much intelligence, neither the money nor the power to employ this. Again trouble. Have you seen a lot of people? Very intelligent people, complete mess. Too much power, neither the intelligence nor the money, lot of trouble. These three things must be in balance within you. Only then you live a balanced life. But now you want money, so you don't say, You ensure vu and ma are approximately equal. If you want to do individual sadhana in just or just or just it has to be done under expert guidance. But is a basic sound. Everybody is free to utter this. So in there are not only 3 mantras, there is another half mantra. Can you tell me what that is? What is the greatest secret in the world? You don't know? That's why it's a secret. The greatest secret in the world is silence, isn't it? Because silence is not only unknown, it is unknowable. Silence means that which is not. Sound is that which is. Silence is that which is not. Silence is the basis of all sound. Is that so? Silence is the basis of all sound. The whole existence is a vibration. That's modern science. Where there is a vibration, there is bound to be a sound. So the whole existence is sound. The root sound for all these sounds is sound The root for is silence. Silence is the most powerful dimension of life. How can silence be powerful? Because it's nothing. But nothingness is the most powerful dimension of your life, in the sense. See, right now you're sitting here, you are something. You go and sleep, you become nothing. Tomorrow morning you get up, you are again something. Tonight we will not let you go back to your nothingness. That means we won't let you sleep. Tomorrow morning, your somethingness will be little wobbly. One more night, we will not let you go back to your nothingness. That means one more night we won't let you sleep. Next day, you are cracking up. One more night, we will not let you go back to your nothingness. Next day, you will fall apart. Yes? Only if you go back to your nothingness, your somethingness has some substance. If you do not go back to the nothingness, somethingness will just fall apart. This is not just in terms of wakefulness and sleep. If you bring silence into your life, in whatever form you can, you will see what an immense impact it has upon your life. You just try this with your life. Let's say one day in a week, just don't speak, just stay quiet. If one day is too much for you, you start like this. If you wake up at 6 o'clock, now it's become the tradition. Let's say you wake up at 6 o'clock, till noon time you don't speak. 6 hours, just be quiet. Don't say anything to anybody, no phones, no talking, no nothing. You will see just keeping silent will make you such a powerful being in terms of your intelligence, in terms of your physical strength, in terms of your creativity. You will see an immense change in the way you exist. Especially those of you, if your nature of your work is such that you need to come up with something new. You are not a clerk in the office where every day you go and open the file and do the same thing. You need to come up with something new. You will see silence is the most incredible thing for you.
Sitting and Adsiddhasana hold Yoga Mudra and utter the sound 7 times, U7 Ma, followed by Aum 21 times. As you utter the sound, notice the vibrations moving from the navel to the tip of the nose. Practicing chanting on daily basis can play significant roles in stabilizing the physiological and psychological processes. There is significance of to the number of times you utter Om. You can utter sound 23 times.
Just do this, sit, Ardha Siddhasana or cross-leg posture. You take your left heel and push it into your perineum. Perineum means between the anal outlet and the genital, there is a little space which is known as the perineum. In the yogic terminology, this is known as the Mooladhara. So you push your heel into that. The right leg, you just place it comfortably in front of you, whichever way is comfortable for you. You keep these four fingers together, thumb sticking out like this. Use the forefinger and the thumb to touch at the very tips and form a circle between them. But these four fingers should remain together, there should be no gap here. Do not allow a gap here. The four fingers are together, the forefinger and the thumb form a circle and hold it facing upward. When you hold the mudra, you must place it in that place where your arms will be loose. You find that point on your thigh where your arms will be very loose. Only the mudra should be tight. From the tip of your finger to your breast, there must be little tension. But that tension should not extend into your forearm or your bicep muscle. Only the mudra should be tight without employing your forearm. If you employ your forearm, the mudra will turn negative. So you're sitting in Ardha Siddhasana, holding the mudra. So when you utter the sound Am, you open your mouth and say Ah. Gently close your mouth, it becomes Oo. You close it, it becomes The sound begins just beneath the navel and ends at the tip of your nose. So every utterance you must move with awareness. With the reverberation, you must move your awareness along with the vibration. Only then this awareness builds up into your phenomenal force within you. Keep your spine erect, close your eyes. We will utter this sound.